Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you a very cool tutorial, and this is actually how I create these really cool moving Disney scenes. You don't have to do Disney, you can do anything you want, but you've been flooding my comments on how to do it, so I'm going to show you how. Now, before we begin, I want to give a very special shout out to some friends I met. They came over to the studio and did some painting with me. They also made me the most adorable card, and this is from Luna and Roma. They came here, they hung out at the studio, and we painted loads of nails. So shout out to you girls and keep smashing that artwork. So as always, I'm going to start with my pink pearl nitrile gloves. These are available from my website and they're so pretty for content if you want to cover your hands up because you haven't got your nails done. But for glitter or aqua nails, I just recommend wearing gloves. For these nails, we're actually going to be using my XXL full cover nails. These are super long. And you can do any size you want. So I actually used size 0, which you guys know I do not like big long nails. But this is the first one I done in this series and it just had to be long. Like, I just don't think that would have worked on a short nail. So we are doing long nails. I know there is some baddies that actually do wear them this long. So, yeah, how you guys do it amazes me. But I am an itty-bitty nail wearer. Okay, so we're going to start with 0. So you're going to want to take the bigger size for your base. And then you can either take the same size nail to go on top or one smaller. Play around with both. You'll get a slightly thicker effect if you do the same size on top. And also it's kind of a bit easier if you do go one smaller because they can't actually clamp together. So you've automatically got like a safe kind of tank. So it's not just gonna squish, you know, unless you obviously force it down. So I'm actually going to do a 0 for the base and a 1 for my top layer. So we're going to put down size 0 or whatever size you're using, but the biggest size. Make sure that's nice and firm. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is, if I kind of just randomly decided to do this last night, so my reference pictures are not great, so you're gonna have to bear with me. We're gonna do a little bit of improvising, but I'm sure we can make it work. Okay, so what I want to do for this one is I want to have Ursula rising up, and in front of her I'm gonna put the ship so she has something to kind of go behind. You don't have to do that. I didn't do that for like the Tarzan one, etc. But I just think it will look really cool because I have to kind of have her coming out the water. So that is my image. We might end up changing it. We will see. There wasn't many pictures, so we're going to actually change her slightly. I want her straight on. I want to do a little Eric and Ariel as well. So yeah, we'll see how this one's going to go. So the first thing we need to do is actually paint the background. So you need to just forget your character, your moving item, whatever you're doing. So even though the sea is showing in front of her, we will still need to do the sea behind her. I actually made this mistake with my Cinderella bubble nails the first time I did them. As you can see, the bucket has no back. Luckily nobody noticed it, and then actually when I did my Dumbo nails with bubbles I corrected it. So yeah, I'm learning. We're all learning together, right? So we're going to do this beautiful pink stormy sky. We're going to do the sea on the bottom layer. It should be a fairly easy background, actually. Some of the ones I've done are very, very hard. So this is what I actually use to create my mini characters on. And I actually just use this for putting my nail paints down as well now, because I'm lazy, and it means I can just throw out the sheets. So yeah, I get through these pretty fast now, but they are amazing. And if you want to keep them clean for content, make sure you just pull it off first, because otherwise they just look messy. Okay, so I think I'm going to go in with these 3 shades. Don't ask me what the brand is. And I'm just going to paint the nail a solid color first. Just one layer. And then it will really... I just find it easier because it's not like a see-through nail then, is it? So we're just going to go in with 1 coat. If you guys love this pink, let me know in the comments. It's giving Barbie. Okay, we're going to cure that for 30 seconds. So this is a black jelly, and I think it's going to be perfect to blend with the sky, because I think black may be a little bit too harsh. So we're just going to do the sky first. We may use a tiny bit of purple. I'm not sure yet. So I'm going to use Thicky Mickey for the sky. This brush is so fun. It's almost like the size for when you was a kid and you used to paint stuff, but it's just really good for doing these like big areas. So I'm actually just going to take some blooming gel, and I'm just going to pop that on pretty much wherever I want the sky to be. Just going to do a layer of that. And you really don't have to be like super neat with this kind of sky look. It's kind of blurry anyway, and it will be the back layer, don't forget. So, yeah. Okay. So now I'm just going to chuck on some colors, and we'll see what we end up with. I'm actually really tempted to put a little bit of red in there, you know. I am so sorry if my chair is squeaking. I need to oil it, I think, because it's driving me nuts.
No, I can't stand it.
And I'm always like wiggling to fight to see the camera, make sure I'm in shot and stuff. Okay, right, let's do a little bit of a mix here. And I'm just going to literally chuck some of these colours on first. And then we will have a little play. And the reason I lay down the blooming gel is just because I don't want it to be like harsh lines. I really just want them to kind of break up. So because I have the pink background, I can go in more with the darker shades. Now, how low do we want this to come down is the question. So if we're going to do the ship about here, it's going to have to be a big Ursula. So she's going to be fair, she's only going to be rising about half then, isn't she? Although she is massive. Let's go a little bit lower. We can always go over it with the boat, so I'm actually thinking the jelly black may have been the wrong choice here. Maybe we'll go in with the darker black after. If we just think of this as like a background, we are getting somewhere. Right, I'm going to grab a darker black. I'm going to go in with my Dalmatian Duo black. This is super pigmented and it is TPO Hema free. And we're just gonna look at the difference. Just gonna kind of dot that in places. And let the gel kind of do its thing. Which it will, you can see that. I always like to do the top of the sky darker when you're doing a storm. So try and make it, you know, more darker to the top. I'm actually pulling some of the blooming gel off at the same time as well, because we don't want to overflow the nail. That's looking more stormy already. Ignore the bottom bit, just the top. Do we add some purple? I don't know. I like where this is going. Just want it to be a little bit more blended in places. So I'm going to kind of mix it myself. And I'm almost doing like kind of cloud motion. Oh yeah, that's turning into storm nicely. Need a little bit less pink. Okay, I'm going to pop that in the lamp. Okay, let's add in some red now. I think this is going to really kind of make it all darker, but not too dark. It's definitely giving storm. I love a storm. We haven't had one in so long. Oh, this is definitely bringing it all together. It's definitely a trust the process kind of effect, isn't it? Oh, wouldn't want to be on the sea when this storm's going on, huh? Let's just dim those pink areas down a little bit. Just with that red. Oh, I think that's beautiful. I've made it way more detail than the animation. Oops. Never mind. We've just leveled it up, that's all. Oh, I think that's gorgeous. I am happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and cure. Now the sea is like, it's like a violet, a very dark violet, bluey purple, I would say. But it is very, very, very dark. We're definitely going to have to mix some shades, I think. So I don't think I have the right ones. Now notice how you've got like these kind of triangles everywhere. We don't need to focus on them too much. They are very easily done. And I have the perfect brush to do them. So this is our square stroke brush, which will be launching very, very soon. It is amazing for doing effects like this, and I'm going to show you how. I'm actually going to come in with white mittens, and I'm actually going to do the triangles in white first. It's going to give me an outline for where they need to be. It's going to be easier to see. So yeah, I'm just going to soak my brush in that, and we're just gonna kind of do swooshes like this. Really doesn't have to be neat. You can do little ones, big ones, just like that. If you want to go in and tidy it up, so your lines are straighter now. So quick and easy. Okay, right, we're going to cure that. So for the sea colour, we're going to take some black paws. Now, I do tend to take a lot more than I normally would when I'm making these videos. When I am just on my own, I hate waste, okay? I just use the tiniest amount. So from the Vibrant Vibes collection, we're going to take some Summer Storm. Everyone's asking when these will be back in stock, and all the colours are in stock. It's just the boxes that are actually getting produced currently because I switched factories. So they'll be back soon. I promise. So is that going to be enough? Am I being stingy? We'll get some more just in case. Okay, so let's just get those mixed up. It is a solid colour, the sea, so... Oh. That's looking pretty good. Might need a little bit more purple. And if that is too light, then it's fine, because we can add in a bit more of that black. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. So now we've got our waveline outline here. We're just going to literally follow the same pattern that we did. But we're just going to leave like a little gap. Although these lines look white, I would say they are definitely more of a lilac colour. Be mindful when you're doing details. Not a lot of things are actually pure white or black when it comes to painting characters and stuff. Some White Mittens gel paint, because this is going to be so much more pigmented than a gel polish, and we need it to go over that. And I'm probably just going to mix it with a dash of this, maybe I'll take a little bit of Summer Storm just in case. So for the detail, I'm going to be using my 11mm Steady Girl brush. You guys have been absolutely loving this new edition. She has just been flying off the shelves. Almost as fast as Sturdy Boy, actually. So yeah, thank you. I love her too. Okay, so we're going to just do these details now. And again, I'm not going to be too crazy on spending loads of time on this. Kind of want them to be like messy-ish too. Because we are kind of looking for that wave effect. And if you kind of shake your hand when you're doing these lines, it is just perfect, because that is the kind of line that you want. You don't want those pure straight strokes, you know. And if you get areas that just go outside like that, it's fine, because we're going to be having like dots and stuff. We're going to be adding all of that in a minute. Oh, Boris! He's got a cold. Try and make the lines a little bit thinner as you come out. And then we're just going to kind of add some little wave lines. Don't forget, most of this will be covered. I'm gonna go ahead and cure that now, and then we are going to top coat. Of course, we will be using the one and only glass slipper top coat. The best top coat you'll ever use. The reviews speak for themselves. It is TPO HEMA free as well. Now, oh, there's a hair. Where did you come from? Now, you need to make sure that you top coat after. This is a must. If you don't top coat this nail and then you go ahead and build your tank and you add glitter or whatever you want to add, beads, the little characters that we're doing, then it's just going to stick. So yeah, you're going to run into a lot of problems. So just remember to always top coat first. Don't worry about getting it really smooth because of the tank that's going to go on top. Just make sure everything is covered. So now we're going to take our smaller tip. Make sure the inside is fully clean. Don't worry too much about the outside yet, but the inside is what you want to make sure there's no lint, dirt, dust, anything like that. So now we're going to take Seal It Gel. Now this is a really incredible product. It is a no wipe gel, but the consistency is so thick. Look at that. And it's just what you want for keeping your tip in place. You don't really use it a lot for the two-tip method, but it's just so handy for this stage. And I like to put the Seal It gel in the top right corner just because I'm right-handed. It just makes it so much easier for me. And I'm just going to place that. Look how strong that gel is. It's just not even moving. I'm going to get that into position. Again, because I'm using a smaller tip, it doesn't automatically just squish down. Whereas if I was using the same one, there's more chance of it just squishing, like sandwiching together. And I'm making sure this side is the same as this side. As you can see, this side's a bit thicker. That'll be why it's not pushed down enough. And what I like to do also is check the front and make sure it is symmetrical. I know some people like to pull the top nail down. I personally don't like to do that. I like it to be the same. And we're just going to cure that little bead. Now, just by doing the one bead method, it kind of gives you more flexibility to adjust areas if you need to. So that's why this has become my favorite way of doing it. So that looks good. That looks good. Looks good. So now what I like to do is actually do a bead on this side. Now I know the back is not moving. And then I'm going to do a little bead there. And a little bead there. You can do the whole side with this if you want, but because it's a thicker consistency, it's not as easy to maneuver as Seabed Base Gel, which is what I like to use for the size of the two-tip method. Now, in theory, you can do the whole tank with Seal It Gel. You could do the whole tank with Seabed Base Gel. But because of the different consistencies, it will be much easier if you do use both. So we kind of have our tank top second layer. It's not moving anywhere, so that's nice and secure. I'll put a lid on that one. Who's at my door? So now I like to use Seabed Base Gel, and this is a much runnier consistency. I also like to use my Thicky Mickey brush again, which is just so good for running down the sides of the nail. So let's take some Seabed Base Gel. You shake this and almost out. So you can just squeeze it along the edge if you want, or you can place like a generous bead like that. And then use Thicky Mickey to just smooth it out. Now I'm kind of doing this a little bit quick because what I don't want is the product to seep under the nail and go inside too much. You do want it to connect a little bit inside. That's going to help it bond, but I don't want the product to kind of spill into the nail. It's going to give me less room when it comes to putting what I want inside. Right, I can't do the other side with you guys because I'm actually making a mini for this for TikTok. So I have to make the background really pretty and kind of, yeah, get some footage for that. But I will do the back with you guys. You get a small bottle if you buy the kit, or you can get the big bottles, which are also available. Okay, so I've got my little TikTok footage. So now we're going to go back to Seal It Gel, and we're going to literally flood this whole back end. Now you have to be mindful that this will all kind of be filed off, but I do like to use this for kind of protection. So we're gonna squeeze. Now again, you can use Seabed Base for this if you would rather a thinner consistency. And we're gonna squeeze that in. Now let's go to Thicky Mickey, and we're just gonna really kind of push that down the nail. And I'm trying to like work out where my filing would start. So don't be afraid to push this quite far down. And along the edge as well. Can you kind of see that curve there? So you can see how low the product is coming down. Make sure it's all connected. Right, now we've obviously got a little bit of a ridge here. So I'm just going to take some Seabed gel. Told you I'm at the end of my bottle. And I'm just going to let that fall along the top like that. Let's just let it do its thing. And we will go ahead and cure that. Okay, while that's in the lamp, I want to show you something I've been designing. So you know I do all of my own packaging design work. So I'm actually changing the Ocean Drops Glitter Solution label to just Ocean Drops Solution. And the reason is because you guys know I invented this for glitter. And it works amazingly with glitter. But I had no idea when I invented this that you could move little miniature made characters. So we're going to take out the word glitter and we're just going to call it Ocean Drops Solution. But I can't decide whether I like the white or the black. I think it's got to be the white. But if you guys can comment below and let me know. This app is called Canva, by the way. It's absolutely brilliant. I use it for like all of my packaging that you guys love. It's so handy and fun. But yeah, let me know what you think, the white or the black. Okay, so that is all cured now, and it's going to look something like this. Now, you may think that it's done and ready, but it's not. I want you to really look at the front of the nail. So, can you see there's like a gap? Not a gap, like a ridge here where it goes in. So that means when we file, we're going to be left with a hole here. So we really need to build up these two sections and make sure that they're going to be flush when we file the nail. So I'm going to add some more Seabed Base. It's better to add more product than not enough. I'm just going to chuck that on like that. It's going to look absolutely hideous. But I just want to make sure that that gap there is fully filled out. It's just going to cause you so many problems later on, because if you file and there's a hole, you're going to end up with dust in the nail, and it's just an absolute nightmare. Trust me. Now, let me show you what this will look like from the front now. Can you see the ridge has gone? So when we file it, we're not going to have a hole. Okay, so when you're done, you kind of have this big, ugly, chunky tank. Don't worry, it's normal, okay? We're going to file it and smooth it out and make it beautiful. So we need to first cap the end. Now, I know some people like to actually fill the tank, block the end, and then file. I don't like that. I think you're risking doing extra work that way, personally. Because if you make a mistake and burst it because of all that filing you're doing, then you're going to just have so many problems. So I would prefer to file the 80% that I can file now, get ready, and then it's just a case of doing the end. So I'm just taking some lint-free wipe, and we're just kind of making a little blockage here. Just like that. Just making sure it is all the way in, because you know how small dust particles are. And then I'm going to trim the end just so it's easier, it's not in my way. Just like that. So we've got a little plug. So now we're going to file and buff. I'm going to take it off the stand. We're going to get it nice and smooth. So I am using a 180 file for this. This is just to get the bulk down, and then I will come in and buff it all. And this is kind of what you're looking for, a smooth edge along here. If you do see some lines here, that could either be a slight gap. I have checked mine, it's not. It's actually what is on the other side. So it's just product. And you'll see that when I wash in a minute, it will make sense. It's actually like what's on the other side, like the inside of the tank. Okay, I'm just going to give this a wash with some alcohol so I can really see what's going on. And it also kind of just melts it all together. Look at that. Just checking. You know, it looks really, really good. Now, what I like to do is go over it with one layer of top coat now, just to nice and clear. Guys, there's a wasp in here, can you hear it? Can you hear it? People always say, how do you get them so smooth? And I swear to God, I think it's because of the acetone wash, the file, the buff, the acetone wash, and then the top coat. And look at that, it's just so smooth. I'm trying to do this as thin as possible because don't forget, we still have to paint our second layer on. And make sure you don't block the hole. Okay, I'm going to pop that in the lamp. Okay, so even though I'm not actually placing the character inside yet, I do want to just test the tank so that I know that nail is done at the moment. So we're going to be doing this with the Ocean Drops Glitter Solution, soon to be called Ocean Drop Solution, because it has way more uses than just glitter, what we have discovered. So I'm going to test it by just filling up the tank. Now, you'll immediately start to see it go down if there's any hole. I'm 100% sure there's not, because I did check it. And you can usually see with the two-tip method very easily if there's a gap. And you can see, look how crystal clear the tank is. So see all of those little inner corners that were there. That's not a drip coming from inside. all of those little like ridges you've seen, they were literally inside the nail. They were where the nail was joining. And when you put this in, it just all kind of disappears. So there is our tank. I'm going to empty this out now because I know it's all clear. You can leave that in there if you want, but I like to do this. How cool was that? Look. What a cool effect. Imagine if I could just cap that and it would stay. That is so cool. I like to empty it out. The reason being, if there was dust particles in there and stuff, they are now all going to come out. That's funny. I've never had that before. How cool is that? It's like snake vibe. Right, I'm going to put this to one side and make sure when you do put it to one side that you leave it this way up. You don't want to leave it this way up because you're going to attract loads of dust and stuff. You could even just replug it if you wanted, but that is completely optional. Okay, so now we've built the tank. The next stage is actually to create our miniature moving, I don't even know what you would call it, sticker, but it's not a sticker, it's not a sticky, huh? Anyway, we have to create the thing inside, charm, I don't know, what are we calling this? Because this is, like, not really a thing, huh? Let me know. So, yeah. So, for now, we're going to just put the tank aside. Okay, so now it's time for Ursula. This one's going to be so cool. So I'm going to grab all the colours for that. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this yet, but you know the Seven Dwights. You know the Seven Dwarfs mine scene I did. So this is exactly what I used and is now available from my store. This is Hex Holo. Honestly, when I did those nails, I was not even ready for how it was going to look. So I actually think I'm going to use these colours for Ursula. I think if I reverse this back slightly, I'll probably get the right colour. And I also want to show you what I use to actually create like the little figure, because it's actually my new rubber base coat. Now, I don't know why, but it just kind of, it helps it like become sticker-like, I guess, to the base. And it's how it kind of peels off easier. So I just like to take a blob of this, probably way too much. So my picture reference is not the best, but we're just gonna move with it. So I'm gonna pick an area that is kind of easy, and I'm gonna kind of start with this circular face part here, and we're just kind of laying down the foundations. All right, so that's my palette one. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use a new one. So there's our rubber base, as you can see. I'm going to try and show this on camera as much as possible, and I'm just going to kind of mix it into a sort of similar color and one I can actually see on the palette. Like that. I can probably go a little bit darker. That will be absolutely perfect. But you can see majority of that is our rubber base. And that's just kind of what I'm going to use to paint with. Now, because the rubber base it's quite a gloopy consistency, it's going to be hard to like do super thin lines. Okay, that was a super thin line. But you know what I mean. We also do want to kind of make sure that it's not super thin. You still want to have a little bit of weight. So so it's okay to kind of like blob areas down. I'm going to show you what it means. So I'm going to do this in the middle just so you guys can see properly. I'm going to create the circle for her face. Now you have to remember these are ultra tiny. I'm going to actually use one of my other ones just to compare the size so I know how much room I kind of have to make the character, because I don't want to make her too wide. And bearing in mind, her body is quite wide too. So if that was her face, probably can go a little bit bigger. I think she's probably going to be the biggest one I've done inside a nail, because I do want her to kind of take up most of the nail. Okay, so if that's her face, her body is, it kind of comes out. I am so scared of this one. I am terrified. Right, now that looks like I'm not even gonna say. I'm gonna cure that real quick. Just give it a little flash cure. It just almost gives us something to work with, okay? That, like, it really does. What the helly? I really am just kind of looking for something to work around. And you'll know exactly what I mean when you do this. You'll go, oh, I get it. So when you're doing these kind of micro paintings, you kind of end up like dotting your brush more than painting. Right, let me just flash cure that. Okay, so this is where we're at. Oh, by the way, these nail stands are really handy for pinning your little palette piece down. I just discovered that. Okay, so she looks an absolute mess. That's fine. What we're going to do now is we're going to actually colour her in with the rubber base. Now, mixing colour into your rubber base is completely optional. You can just paint on it clear if you'd rather. But it's just really so we get that nice base that's going to help it to peel away. And I'm going to just go over the lines because this will be transparent anyway. I'm a little bit unsure how low to bring her down because this is a really hard one. I don't know why I chose to do this one as a tutorial. So we need her to rise from above the ship, right? So do I just do like her long tentacles? Because you're not really going to see them. Or do I just like maybe just kind of do that, but you won't see that area? This could go horribly wrong. Please, if you are doing this for the first time, maybe just start with like a little heart or something. I don't know. Just something easy. If you're wondering why I haven't done her arms, it's because I actually want to change her arms from the reference picture. I want to have her holding the what's it called? The trident. So I'm gonna have one arm here, and then if the trident will be like here going across her body, the fork will be there. I'm just kind of mapping out where it would be. So that'll be the fork, and then this arm would come around there, I think. And then this arm will be lower because she's holding the bottom. Well, I'm just going to go over her face and her crown with that rubber base. Now, if you are worried about like areas like staying inside the line with the rubber base, then just make sure those areas are clear rubber base. Like her crown, for example. Now, if I was to just cover the whole thing in clear, like all the way around here, so it'd be easier, that's absolutely fine. I mean, technically, you could just paint a rubber base square and then do your character if you wanted, because the clear bit will be transparent through the nail anyway. Right, so this is going to be the trident. So let's just do a little fork because I want to make sure that that peels away. Right, I'm going to cure that. I think that looks good. Okay, so we pretty much have our Ursula base, and she will fit in. We will have to bend her. I'll show you that also. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop talking because I need to get my fine detail painting on, and I'm going to crack on and paint my mini Ursula over the top. It's done, chair. Let's do a little lunch break chat. Did you guys see that Disney commented on my post?
What?
Because they haven't shared it yet. Do I message them? Anyways, back to our miniature Ursula. So far, she's looking really, really good. I think as we start adding in some more details, she's going to come to life a little bit more. I will be honest, I kind of wish I did something a little bit easier for this YouTube tutorial because, yeah, this is kind of hard to paint on camera. I don't know if you guys have ever recorded yourself painting, like you're constantly looking up at the camera, down at your image, and yeah, it's it's very hard. So bear with me. At times she's gonna look a little bit rough, okay? But I promise at the end she will be perfect.
Got creators, and it's going to cause an absolute shitstorm in here. I've got creators and AIs that I'm doing that when people come into my live, right, they're going to pop up on the screen and
Also, the amount of product I have is like hardly anything. And my gel paints are so good for this because they just hold their own. So, yeah. It's like the tiniest amount. And I'm really pushing down hard because there's literally... Let me show you what it would be like to paint with this amount I have on my brush. If I was doing like a normal nail. Say I wanted to just do like a French. Look how much product I have. on my brush. It's so minimal. This is Sturdy Boy, by the way. You know he's my favourite. He's the OG. He's the main man. But yeah, just to show you. Okay. That's looking really good. I'm just going to make these a little pointy. Just a little. And I think that is going to be fine for the 4. I really don't want to... I don't want to keep going and mess it up. I think that looks good. There is a little ring at the top. I don't know if I should add that or not. It's kind of like a little ring here. Definitely should have cured before I did this because I cannot really change my mind now. Notice how a lot of the paint work I'm doing is dotting rather than dragging. Oh, that looks okay. Once I put some yellow on that, I think it will be fine. My toxic trait, by the way, is not finishing an area and just moving on to the next area. I am really bad for that. I don't know why. Like, I haven't even finished the face and I am moving on to something else. I need to swap brushes because Sturdy Boy, I love you, man, but that's going to take me a while. Yeah, so here I am just going on to the next bit. So let's get the black done now. Let me just take a big blob and plop it there because I know that all this is going to be black, so I can use it as a palette. Oh, she's looking good. Right, I think I'm going to go... We'll go to about there. And then we won't go any lower than that because she's not going to hide behind the boat otherwise. I might even end up trimming it. We'll see when she's in the now. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Okay, so these tentacles. I'm thinking we could do one like curled up here. Obviously we're not going to fit them all in, so we'll do what we can. So that one will be kind of curled in there. So if we have one here, we could do... You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to draw in where the curved bit would be first. And then we can kind of see. So this one is going to come down. And then... it's gonna loop here. Up here. And it will go around there. And then the back would be here. And then if we have one like here, I don't know if you're even going to see it though. Let's just cover this up and look. Maybe we'll just do like one like that kind of thing. So you'll just see the tip like that. I'm worried I've made it come out too far. Okay, let's cure. I'm fully zoomed in now, guys, so this is as far as I can go. I hope we're in shot. Okay, so these highlighted lines are above those dark lines we did. We're nearly there. Okay, so I am finished with Ursula. So what we're going to do now is we're going to top coat her. Now, I definitely don't suggest painting directly on to her because you're going to end up with a large area around her that is just clear and transparent, which is fine, but it's going to make her even bigger. So we're just going to paint on top. So I'm just going to take a generous amount. And let me just make a stand. There we go. And I'm just kind of chucking it in the middle first. And then I'm going to start to paint the areas. Now do make sure every bit of gel polish is covered. Even if that means, can you see that? You have a tiny bit of clear coming over. Okay, you will have bits that are just stuck to the paper. And if you do go out a little bit like that, it's okay, it's fine. It's not gonna matter. And the way to see that she's fully covered is you can see that air, that shine. See that level there where it's all nice and smooth? And you can see her face isn't smooth. So we're going to keep going. And if you do want to take some away, you can do that as well. That is completely up to you, like this little section here. Oh my god, I can breathe. That is done. Whew. Okay. Right, so now we're going to peel off Ursula. Now, I don't just want you to rip her off. I do want you to be careful. These sheets do work really well. And as long as you use that rubber base coat and the top coat, then it should peel off quite easily. So we want you to really focus on these small areas like this, because they're the ones that are going to rip when you kind of do that big pull. So I'm just kind of like digging away at them. Like that. Anywhere where there's like a point, you know, a point or a corner. Like that. And then we can do the bigger areas. Ah! Oh no! See how easy it rips? She's only got one tentacle. I'm so glad you guys got to witness that, so you know not to do that. You're welcome. Okay, I don't know what to do with that. Maybe I'll add it back in. But I'm going to keep going with this first. And there we go. She's coming up. And you'll see underneath all the areas where the rubber base wasn't. Can you see that? So there we have our mini Ursula. I don't know what to do with that tentacle. I think I'm just going to leave it, you know. I think it'll be fine. I don't think you're even going to notice. And look at her. I think she looks amazing. Is she going to fit in the nail? We'll find out. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to make sure that she fits in our tank. Now, the tank is obviously going to be curved because it's a nail and she is flat. So we're going to have to curve her slightly, but be very careful of things like this hanging off. Now, you can do this by bending her gently and kind of rolling her, or you can place it over a brush and let me show you. You can kind of place it over a brush and like kind of wrap her around so you've got something to push onto. If you're finding she's not staying bent, you might not have done her thick enough, so you could actually just like stick her to the brush and paint another layer on and then cure, so that when she's cured on that curve. But mine's okay. So I'm going back to the liquid. So I have put some kitchen roll down. I'm going to fill my tank back up. Now do this before you put her in, because if you put her in dry, she's just going to stick, okay? So you might want to give her a little clean as well. I think mine's okay. Right. Whether you do this with your hands or your tweezers is up to you. Now remember, the entrance is going to be slightly thinner anyway, so you just need to kind of get past that area. I think mine is going to need... Oh, it's that. That bit. I might have to take the tentacle off, guys. Oh no. Uh-oh. I wonder if I can get past that a little bit. It's gonna rip. Oh. Okay, I think... Oh no. You know what? I'm gonna get that off.
And now look at me, wasted away to practically nothing.
Never mind. Hopefully she will be good. Let's see. Is she going to fall? Let me just see. Don't worry about this bit, because this bit's not going to matter. Let me just... Oh, there she goes. It worked. Let me just turn you so you're upright. There we go. Ta-da! Now when we play her, we will be playing her in reverse. I think that tentacle looks weird. You know what? I think it'll be fine. Okay, so we're going to actually cap the end now. And Because we're not going to be using literally the end of this, we're going to actually take some of this liquid away and dry up the top area. It's going to just make it so much easier to seal. Okay, right, so next up we're going to take Seabed Gel. And what we're going to do is we're going to just focus on the two edges. So we're going to go and do one this side. And we'll do one that side. Now that is the places where most people have edges, is these corners. Then I'm going to press down with my finger. I have a glove on so it's fine. I'm going to swipe out to the corner. And because this gel is so thick, it's not going to budge. So we're going to cure that. So what you're left with now is a tank and hole like this. And these two corners are probably fully secured. So that's just the safest way to do it. And now we can fill the tank back up. And just literally like slowly let it drip. You don't even need to tip the whole bottle at this point. See the drips just coming off and just landing in gently. If you squeeze it directly straight into a hole that small, it's just going to come straight back up. So that looks good. I really don't want much of an air bubble, so I'm going to go right to the top, and then I'm just going to dab away. So I've got a tiny little bubble like this. So when we're capping the end, we're going to literally do what we've just done with the sides, but we're going to do it on the sides of this hole, if that makes sense. So what I mean is we're going to squeeze them out and make sure we've still got an air bubble here. And we're going to push down, swipe, and cure. And we're just making that hole smaller and smaller. But by doing this, the air bubble has a place to escape without pushing the gel back out. And I'll do one more on this side. I'm gonna roll my fingers. I've still got a tiny air hole so the air can come out without breaking the gel. And this is the best way to get a super small air bubble. And then the last one, I'm just going to place a bead there. And I'm going to use my finger. And I'm going to roll that down. Now this bead is probably going to get slightly wet because it has to touch that liquid. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take some of our glass slipper top coat and we're going to run it along the top like this. We're just going to do a small amount here just so it's connected, nothing big and bulky. Like that. And we're going to cure. Now you can see our tiny air bubble. And you can see the air bubble is not hitting the top, which means that there's probably no hole. I'm going to give it a squeeze now. Nothing is coming out at all, but we do still need to file the ends. So the last stage of your tank is to file and buff the end. Because I don't have a lot of bulk, there's just a little lip there. I'm just going to go in with a 180 buffer and get it all nice and smooth. So if you do have a lot of leaking issues, another thing you can do is paint the whole tank now in top coat. I'm just going to do this end part here. And the reason is because I'm going to be painting all over the nail anyway. I'm just going to do a really, really, really thin coat. You can see there the bubbles, they've all broken up just from the vigorous movement with the filing. But yeah, I'm just going to do that for extra security. Okay, so I'm going to go and paint the bow and everything I want on the front to cover her up. I'm going to go and do that now because this video has been going on for quite some time. So yeah, I'm going to go and do that and I'll be back to show you the finished result. So there is my finished nail. I've done the boat, I've done the waves in front of her as well as a mini Eric and Ariel down there. And now I'm gonna show you it in all of its glory. Are you ready?
You pitiful, insignificant fool! Look out!
So guys, I really hope this tutorial has helped you or will help you. Please let me know in the comments if it does, and let me know which crazy scene you want to see next, and if there's any more tutorials you're interested in, just pop them in the comments and I will share them. Everything I've used will be linked below, so make sure you grab it. There will also be a sneaky discount code just for you guys. And I will see you next time. Bye guys!